What is up, everyone? Crunchy Frog here, and I'm bringing you another gameplay commentary on Call of Duty. So, as you may recall, in my last video, we went over a couple of expectations or top 10 wish list that I had for the next Call of Duty, which will be Modern Warfare 2 this October. And a couple of the points I'd mentioned, I wanted to elaborate further in future videos. So I wanted to take one of my points, which was kind of ideas for bettering the DLC stream that we have in terms of cosmetics and everything going forward. It seems that COD has, for the last decade or more, always tried to push the needle as far as they could every year with each iteration, making cosmetics or DLC or money-making purposes a little more predatory year after year until it gets to kind of a breaking point and people complain online. The Twitter and Reddit outrage and YouTube outrage begins. And then in order to save face or get a lot of positive press, they back it way off. And even though it's still kind of slightly predatory, since we were used to such far worse, everyone explodes in happiness. It's a lot of positive PR. And the cycle kind of resets itself. And we saw that with loot boxes. It started out kind of benign and got to a boiling point. They reeled those back. And now I feel that the whole battle pass with purchasable cosmetics is just starting to push the envelope a little too far, and we're starting to see a little more outrage, a little more angst in the community, and even in my own friend group and with the people that I play and talk to in real life as well. And so I really hope that a kind of refocusing, re-strategization, basically, that happens with Call of Duty going forward, both in terms of their focus on cosmetics and money making, as well as the type of cosmetics that are offered. And I won't get into, the type of cosmetics now, the controversial dog skin that was put out, or almost put out rather, the Terminator and Vanguard and everything like that. I'm not going to bring that up now, but I am going to get into my ideas for what I'd like to see going forward. So the big thing here that I'd really like to see and would affect me the most personally, and a lot of people that are kind of similar to me in how we spend money, is I'd like to see cheaper prices or the ability to buy items a la carte. So, similar to a game, and I'll touch on this again later, but kind of like Assassin's Creed, where bundles, you can buy, a la carte items for significantly less amounts of money. And everything like that. To me, it's so much easier to rationalize spending $5 on something I actually want as opposed to a $20 to $40 bundle that has maybe one or two things that I do legitimately want, but then a whole bunch of filler content like stickers and charms and emotes and banners. I do recognize that that's kind of their way of selling it, of padding it out. They feel if they kind of put a bunch of filler in there that they can rationalize the $20 or, $25 price tag. But I kind of just would rather, buy the skin itself or the weapon blueprint itself or, hell, even in some cases, the calling card itself if it's really cool looking. And maybe only fork over $5 here, $7 here, $2 there. And that's kind of how Call of Duty started out. I remember like some of the camos were $2 and stuff like that. And me personally, I'm much more willing to spend money. Right now, as it is, I don't spend any money on Call of Duty. But if they had taken more of an approach of buy what you want, I would have probably already spent that $20 or $30 that I haven't spent, in the past few years on cosmetics. The difference being I would have stuff that I actually want and actually use, and I can do it in bite-sized pieces as opposed to spending, the cost of a dinner for two on just some digital stuff in the store. I can rationalize spending, $2 here, $5 there. And especially the, again, not getting all the filler content as well, I think would be a huge, huge, selling point. The next big thing as well is that I wish that they had some way to earn the in-game cosmetics. So I know that's kind of controversial to start out just because they had a similar situation in loot boxes and everything like that back in the day. Technically speaking, you could earn the cosmetics and the new DLC stuff and everything through just gameplay alone. But now they've kind of moved away from that. Obviously, you can play through the Battle Pass and you unlock a whole lot in the Battle Pass. But in terms of the stuff that is store exclusive, you have no way of getting it. So the idea that I have is kind of to set up a set of challenges that would reward you with X amount of currency, like an in-game currency, right? You know, Black Ops dollars or salvage or something, you know, whatever they want to call it. You could have daily, weekly, and maybe even seasonal challenges that reward you with a certain amount of that currency. Maybe, you know, 5 or 10, you know, Black Ops coins, so to speak, are given out at the end of a match to a random player or the MVP or something like that as well, such that you could accrue them just over normal gameplay. And eventually you could save up this currency to buy items from a daily or weekly refreshing storefront. So, you know, that would be essentially you would be earning up these, again, in-game currency, whatever you want to call them, to save up to purchase something that otherwise you would have to spend real life money on. And, you know, it possibly even have a weekly challenge that gives you just straight up a free item if you complete it. So, for example, if you get 300 kills this week, you unlock a PPSH variant, you know, something like that, that otherwise would be on the store, whether it be in a bundle or, like my previous idea, you know, $2 or $3 on the store. And you can make it somewhat grindy, you know, to increase player retention, just so long as it's nothing crazy, like get 2,000 kills in a week or, you know, something like that. A current example of something that I'm really surprised I'm going to use the word Ubisoft and consumer friendly in the same sentence, but Ubisoft's model in Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Far Cry 6 actually do this kind of well. I've played both games pretty extensively, and they have a similar situation set up wherein there's like a weekly and daily refreshing set of items that again are typically purchasable by real life money. However, you earn an in-game kind of premium currency. In Assassin's Creed, they're called opals. You can find them scattered throughout the world as like a hidden kind of treasure. But you can also get them from daily challenges, weekly challenges, and a couple other means of getting it. I know like the Ubisoft Rewards program gives you some occasionally too. But the point of the matter is you get all these opals through free means, right? You don't pay a single penny. You just play the game. And especially if you're any bit efficient at it, you get a decent amount. And then every day there's one item from the shop that's for sale for X amount of opals, let's say. And then there's usually, I do believe, 6. I don't know the exact numbers for Far Cry 6. I'm just going off of Valhalla because I play it much more often. But, you know, there's about 5 or 6 different cosmetics, right? So you'll have some armor pieces, so the big ticket items that people really want, and then also some smaller ticket items like ship cosmetics, tattoos, stuff like that. So in this case, you know, in using it in the COD sense, you would maybe have a weapon blueprint, an operator skin, right? Only one of each or 2 of each or something. So, you know, you don't open the whole store up to the customer, but then, you know, maybe 1 or 2 smaller items. So maybe for 20 Black Ops dollars or something, you can buy a calling card. Or if you save up 150, you can get a new gun blueprint, stuff like that. And I think it'll actually improve player retention, which I know Call of Duty is all about nowadays, seemingly only about, because it gets people logging in. And I know myself, you know, looking kind of introspectively, it got me to log into Assassin's Creed Valhalla more often, right? Oh, let's see what's for sale today. You know, at Rada's shop is the name of the shop in that game. You know, oh, it just refreshed this week. Let me see if there's anything good. I can grind out some opals and buy that. And it would kind of go to the same for COD, right? People would then be incentivized to log on and maybe knock out a match or 2 or, you know, a challenge or 2 in order to get the currency if they see an item in that shop that they want. And again, if you put in like a weekly challenge or a set of challenges like that, that not only reward XP, but maybe you throw a couple of those premium currencies, for example, into it, you know, people would grind the game more. Again, if you had like a weekly challenge, get 300 kills, people would grind in order to get those 300 kills, maybe more so than they would have done otherwise. And again, they could also further boost profits if they kind of taken, again, the Assassin's Creed Valhalla path of, you know, allowing you to buy the rest of the bundle for a discounted price because you already own a few of the items. So, for example, there was an armor set that had like the armors and a couple weapons and a mount or two. But because I had legitimately purchased with in-game money, I think 2 or 3 of the items from the collection, I ended up being able to buy the entire bundle for like $5. Right, so I earned some of it by playing the game, and then finally I said, you know what, I'll fork over an extra $5, and I got the whole bundle. Otherwise, they wouldn't have gotten that $5 out of me, and they certainly wouldn't have gotten the $10 or $15 that the whole bundle was. But at the end of the day, they managed to squeeze $5 more out of my pocket, which makes them happy, made me happy, because I got a better value for my money, and also I got, all the cosmetics and stuff like that that I otherwise wouldn't have gotten. And I think it's much more consumer friendly, as opposed to the current, state of things, right? I love the fact that they went back and did a battle pass. I really appreciate that. I love the free DLC offerings, no more map packs. Everybody's playing the same maps. But I just really love if there's a way for me to get some of the admittedly really cool skins. And again, I don't want to go into a whole rant on how bad some of the skins admittedly are. But, there are some really cool ones out there that if I knew I could just hop on and maybe get 300 kills this week to earn, you definitely catch me in the grinding a lot more than I am right now. So, I think it's a little more win-win for both parties as opposed to, heavily in Activision's favor. I guess an alternative, solution to that would just be to award COD points in small increments and then just allow people to eventually save up to buy again, either a la carte items or just bundles the way that they are now. And again, I feel like that would be a similar end game, just set up a little differently. They wouldn't have to, generate a brand new kind of currency or anything to do so. Kind of the last huge point that I have here is that I definitely want a way to be able to attain all operators. Right now, as it stands, typically whenever a new season comes out, right, there will be 2 or 3 new operators added to the game. However, unfortunately, I think, and somebody could do the math or, the research on this to get exact numbers, but I do believe only usually 1, possibly 2 out of those 3 are ever actually attainable without buying a $20 bundle from the shop. So I'd love to have a way to actually earn the operators and not make any bundle exclusive, or at the very least, less bundle exclusive operators. I'm not, in it to own every single operator, and obviously not all the operators that have come out are cool or resonate with me or I would like to have by any means. But it's just cool to be able to say you earn more of the game and unlocked more operators, especially for those that have maxed everyone else out. They might want another 20 levels to run through that otherwise they would have had to spend 20 or sometimes, $30, $40 on. And especially, like I said, since that ratio has shifted more and more in recent seasons and recent games to, okay, yeah, here's 1 new operator you get to play with, and then here's 2 or 3 that you'll never get to touch unless you give us $20. Which, again, to me, the whole reason I wanted to push for, the a la carte option and everything like that is, to me, if I'm paying $70 for a game and then $20 for a couple skins and a couple stickers, the value proposition just doesn't equal out. I'd much rather spend $2 here, $3 here, even if at the end of the year my pockets are definitely lighter than they would have been otherwise. It's just the value proposition in my mind is much better. And that includes operators as well. I don't think I can rationalize spending $20 for other people to see me look different. Again, this is a first-person shooter, so that's another huge thing to take into account here. And lastly, just kind of an offshoot, I might even do a full video on this again later, but I would love if they stop tying cosmetics to a specific attachment, develop some sort of transmog system or anything wherein you could customize your weapon to perform the way you want it to, but look the way that you paid. As you all know, with a lot of the store bundles, the attachment setups and configurations are god-awful. But if you swap those out to the more meta attachments or attachments that fit your play style, you may completely change the look of the gun, and then you just spend $20 on a bundle, for a gun that now looks nothing like the gun that you bought. So again, I'm not going to get too deep into that. Maybe I'll do a future video on an idea for transmogrification or anything like that, or you know, an update to the gunsmith to help with that. But just something that I wanted to tack on to the end here, you know, a little food for thought to possibly, you know, make more people want to spend money on bundles, because then they know that no matter how bad the attachments are, they'll still get that gun to look that way with other attachments. So other than that, I've ranted enough. I just wanted to you know, lay a basis down for an idea that I think is both consumer friendly and still going to be massively profitable for Activision. Again, with Modern Warfare 2 coming out, everyone's expecting it to be a big hit. Activision's really going all in on this and banking on it being COD 2.0, you know, big air quotes on that. And so I think if they're really going to go all in, they might as well try to get something that the public is also going to be happy, reset that kind of negative image that people are starting to get here towards the end of Vanguard in terms of, you know, how predatory some of the microtransactions are, or in this case, macro transactions. And yeah, I really hope that, I just want to see Modern Warfare 2 be the best game it possibly can be, especially since it's looking like we might have that for another 2 full years to play. So other than that, guys, if you enjoyed what you heard today, if you've stuck around this long, go ahead and drop a like down below and check out some of my other Call of Duty commentaries. I have a playlist set up on my channel where you can go and hear my somewhat horrible takes on everything Call of Duty and everything gaming. So until next time, guys, this has been AJ, and you have a great day.